Today I'm going to go over the end of Act 2 and talk a little bit about Act 3. So, if you've read Act 2, you have seen the quarrel between Oberon and Titania. And here is Oberon's plan. Now, in this text, they call Puck Robin, and you might recall that those names are interchangeable. So sometimes you'll see it as Puck and sometimes Robin. So Oberon has sent Puck on a mission. He says, do you remember that time when we were vacationing and we were on the sea and there was this promontory and this beautiful mermaid and she was singing in such a dulcet way and it was so beautiful? And Puck says, I remember. That very time I saw, but thou couldst not, flying between the cold moon and the earth, Cupid all armed. All right, we know about Cupid because he's still in our own folklore, from Valentine's Day. So Cupid shoots the arrow. If it hits the target, they fall in love with the next person they see. Well, what happened was he shot the arrow, it missed, and it fell upon a flower. Milk white, now purple with love's wound, and maidens call it love and idleness. Fetch me that flower. All right, so there's this magical flower that Puck is going to go find, and the juice from the flower, if you squeeze it onto sleeping eyelids, as he says, will make man or woman madly dote upon the next live creature that it sees. So the plan is to get the flower, find Titania sleeping, put a spell on her. She'll wake up and see some creature in the forest and be in love with it, and then they can steal the little Indian boy. Okay, meanwhile, Demetrius and Helena enter the woods. So Puck is gone. He can't see any of this happening. They're fighting, and I'm going to skip through this. All right, so Puck comes back, gives Oberon the flower, and Oberon says, listen, I've just witnessed this discord between these two lovers. The woman loves the man, he doesn't love her. Take thou, meaning you, take this, and seek through this grove. A sweet Athenian lady is in love with a disdainful youth. Anoint his eyes, but do it when the next thing he espies may be the lady. Thou shalt know the man by the Athenian garments he hath on. Okay, so Puck's mission is to go find Helena and Demetrius, find them sleeping, put the flower potion in Demetrius's eyes so that he will fall in love with Helena. Okay, so Oberon's trying to do a nice thing here. Then we have scene 2. So we've got Titania with her retinue, and during there would have been like a musical production here. So we don't have any way of knowing what it sounded like. Of course, there's no recordings, but there's been a lot of interpretations of the song and the dance, and there would be this big production number as they are singing Titania to sleep. Okay, and then we end with Lysander and Hermia wandering in. They're lost. They go to sleep. Now it's important, a lot of the action is important. Lysander is trying to talk Hermia into sleeping beside him, right? Two bosoms interchanged with an oath, right? Then by your side no bedroom me deny, for lying so, Hermia, I do not lie. In other words, he's saying, I'm not going to try anything, I just simply want to be near you. And Hermia says, no, we're not married. Lie further off in human modesty. Such separation, as may well be said, becomes a virtuous bachelor and a maid. So not only is this proper for the time period, but we need this for the action of the play because we need them separated. So we have Lysander on one side and Hermia on the other. Puck happens upon them, thinks that this is the couple that's angry with each other, or that the man's angry with the woman. He puts the love potion in Lysander's eyes. Okay, then when Helena and Demetrius run through, Lysander wakes up and sees her. So this is where the whole mix-up begins. It says, Lysander waking up, and run through fire I will for thy sweet sake, transparent Helena. All right, so he keeps going with that. I guess if you're going to pick a theme for this novel, it's showing the ever-changing qualities of young love, right? The fickleness of love. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead to Act 3, where we are starting. Okay, so at this point, Titania, as a fairy, is asleep on the stage. They can't see her technically. All right, in this version, they call the tradesmen the clowns or the rude mechanicals. Okay, they have come to the forest to practice their play in secret because they don't want anyone finding out about it before the wedding. So this whole opening part is talking about the play and how they're going to put it on. They decide to come up with they're worried about the women in the audience, thinking that there's going to be death and killing. So they're going to have a prologue that says, let the prologue seem to say we will do no harm with our swords and that Pyramus is not killed indeed. Okay, and then they do the same thing with the lion. They're worried that the women in the audience are going to be scared of the lion. Masters, you ought to consider with yourself to bring in, God shield us, a lion among ladies is a most dreadful thing, for there is not a more fearful wild fowl than your lion living, and we ought to look to it. One thing about Bottom is he misuses words a lot, and the technical term for that is malapropism or malaprop. It comes from the root mal or mal. You'll know that from Spanish, those of you that take Spanish, which means bad. You're using the word incorrectly. Okay, so he's calling the lion a wild fowl, which is a type of bird. So he does that a lot. So they're going to have another prologue explaining that the lion is not real. Now, this is all very silly because everyone knows when you go to see a production that none of it is real, but okay, so they're getting ready for their play. Enter Robin, invisible to those on stage. So he says aside to the audience, what hempen homespuns have we swaggering here, so near the cradle of the fairy queen? What, a play toward? I'll be an auditor, an actor too, perhaps, if I see cause. So this whole next section is with Pyramus and Thisbe, so they're practicing the play. Quince is the director, so he's making corrections. And then Flute is playing Thisbe. Spoiler alert if you haven't gotten to the reading yet. Bottom enters, and Puck has turned just his head into a donkey, okay, an ass head. So there's going to be a lot of play on words with the word ass, which is a reference to donkey, but this is a comedy, and just like nowadays, you know, kind of that dirty humor was funny back then too. See, life hasn't changed that much in the last 500 years, really, if you think about it. So Robin or Puck says, oh, he's so excited because Bottom returns and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? This is crazy. Robin says, I'll follow you. I'll lead you about around through bog, through bush, through brake, through briar. Sometime a horse I'll be, sometime a hound, a hog, a headless bear, sometime a fire, and neigh and bark and grunt and roar and burn like horse, hound, hog, bear, fire at every turn. So if you recall From a previous video, I talked about how Puck is a shapeshifter, so he can change his form. So his plan is to chase these guys all around the woods and scare them. So he'll turn himself into a hog or a headless bear or a fire, and he's just going to kind of wreak havoc on their lives and scare them to death. Bottom, meanwhile, he has no idea that he looks different. And he says, "Why do they run away? This is a knavery of them to make me afeared." Okay, so the guys are kind of running in and out. Bottom says, "I see their knavery. This is to make an ass of me, to fright me if they could." All right, so we've got that play on words again. And of course, Titania is sleeping there in the back, and when he starts singing, she's got that charm in her eye. So what does she see as soon as she wakes up? "What angel wakes me from my flowery bed?" He keeps singing, and she says, "I pray thee, gentle mortal, sing again. Mine ear is much enamored of thy note, and so is mine eye enthralled to thy shape. And thy fair virtues force perforce doth move me on the first view to say, to swear, I love thee." Bottom replies, "Methinks, mistress, you should have a little reason for that. And yet, to say the truth, reason and love keep little company together nowadays." This is one of the themes of the play, and this is one of the more famous lines. Reason and love keep little company together nowadays. So going along with this idea that yes, love is not the same as reason. So of course Titania's under the spell. He's a little freaked out. So here he says, "If I had wit enough to get out of this wood, I have enough to serve mine own turn." So he's kind of looking for a way to exit. And she says, "Oh, no, no, no. Out of this wood do not desire to go. Thou shalt remain here whether thou wilt or no. I am a spirit of no common rate. The summer doth tend upon my state, and I do love thee. Therefore go with me. I'll give thee fairies to attend on thee, and they shall fetch thee jewels from the deep, and sing while thou on pressed flowers dost sleep. And I will purge thy mortal grossness so, that thou shall like an airy spirit go." All right, so she's going to have her fairies attend to him and make him comfortable and happy. And then we meet some of these fairies. I've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to go a little bit further. Scene 2, Oberon and Puck are meeting up again. The last time we saw them, Oberon had told Puck to go find the humans. You'll recognize them with their Athenian garments. And Robin here, this is a good place to kind of read, to do a review of everything that's happened. I always tell everybody, in case people had a bathroom break and missed some of the play, this is Puck summing up everything that's happened in the last bit here. So, and then Oberon's entered Demetrius and Hermia. Oberon says, "Stand close, this is the same Athenian." And Robin says, "This is the woman, but not this the man." So Oberon is realizing that Puck screwed up. All right, so this is probably the most confusing part of the play right now. Essentially, we had both the men wanting Hermia, and now it has switched. So both the men are after Helena. And of course, Hermia is completely confused by this, why her love has left her. And Helena also thinks that they are duping her, that this is some big joke. She uses your vocab word flouting. Why are you flouting me? Why are you mocking me and pretending to be in love with me? So I will leave you there. Enjoy the play, and I will also try to post a few videos for you to watch that are kind of fun to see it acted out.